to Calicris Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.calicris.com. My name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and today we're speaking to a longtime friend of mine, David Shankle, the Shredmaster. How you doing today, David?
Hello, Jason. All is well. Thank you for having me back on the show again here. I appreciate it. So many new things happening for me. And hail to all the fans out there, Manowar fans, DSG, Grave Rain, FEANOR, and now Wings of Destiny. Glad to be here. Talk to me, brother.
Okay, before we really get into today, David, I know over the last couple of years you've been suffering with some health issues. How are you doing with that now? I think it was...
I'm doing much, much better. You know, I did the hand things, you know, many, many years ago. Been through about 12 operations.
Wow.
Trigger finger and etc. But that's all healed up, and you know, I had to get some stem cell shots in my right hip and in my hand, and I'm all through all that, getting ready to start Grave Rain rehearsals right around the end of July, so we can get that band out. And been writing and recording music with Wings of Destiny. As you know, we just released the new version of the new Ride the Dragon in 2022, which Ride the Dragon was one of the first songs I presented musically to Joey and Eric for the Triumph of Steel record. And when I hooked up with Wings of Destiny, we decided to do it, Anton and I and the boys in the band, and we brought it to a whole new level. So we released it 3 days ago. We're hoping to put it on the next record we're doing with Wings of Destiny, as me being in the band. And it's on the Wings of Destiny YouTube channel. And like in 3 days, we've got like almost 35,000 views. And it takes it to a whole new level. A lot of orchestral, symphonic stuff. But it's still in the same vein. And I'm really proud of it. And, you know, a lot of stuff going on. A new line of guitars with Viper guitars.
Wow.
Heitman. And, you know, the Fafnir guitar, the Dragon, the 7-string I got, artwork done by the fabulous Bo Pittman, wonderful airbrush artist guy. So we've got the DS6, the DS7, and just finishing up the DS8 before we do the next batch. And, you know, we've already been selling a couple of them. They're already in line that people want. So that's going really well. So putting the health issues behind me and getting ready, you know, to move forward with all 3 bands.
Wow, you know what? No shortage of stuff you're involved with these days. I mean, COVID sure hasn't kept you down.
Well, you know, when that COVID hit, you know, it hurt so many people in so many ways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And now, you know, it's just a whole different thing. But when the COVID hit and FEANOR couldn't tour, you know, we decided to just finish the Power of the Chosen One CD on Massacre Records, which we did. It's out. It's been out a year. It's done great for us. We have the Rise of the Dragon video, you know, a couple other videos we have out as well. And they're doing great. And we're already working on new material for a second FEANOR record with me involved in it. And since then, we also, Tony, formerly of Veilside, Tony Angle, we got together and created Grave Rain. And that record is Destination Aftermath, and we put that out on our own. And my longtime friend and manager, Johnny Buttergrass, since the day I stepped in Manowar, has been by my side.
Wow.
So he's working with us on that. That's been out for about just under a year, doing very well for us. You know, you got GraveRainBand.com, Facebook. You can order all the DSG CDs through there. Veilside, My Hot Sauce, if you want a FEANOR CD personally autographed from me, any of the Grave Rain stuff, right through GraveRainBand.com. We also have FEANORBand.com. You've got the Wings of Destiny Band.com.
Wow.
There's YouTube channels for everything and Facebook stuff. You know, these days, especially, social media is everything. You know, to keep up with it and get it out there. Because for a long time, bands couldn't tour. And, you know, a lot of bands are starting to get out there now. But, you know, different countries have different laws and different rules. And, you know, it just all depends on where you're going to go, how long you plan on being there, and how you're going to get there. So I've been spending time building new guitars with Viper and Jeff, and my main luthier, RD Robert Daniels from Third Coast, that has been with me for almost 30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, his hands are the last hands that touch that guitar before they're ready for photos and they hit the stage and record. And RD's working with me and Jeff and the guys at Viper, and I'm really happy with the way things are coming along. Jeff's a great guy. The company's great. We get along perfectly when we sat down for about a year and a half to want to get me on board and did some prototypes and came up with the David Shankle new shred machines from Viper Guitar. And you got the DS6, DS7, and DS8. And in the future, we'll probably do some double necks and some extended fret guitars. But right now, we got the first three going, and I'm very happy with that.
And so let me ask you, David, what's the point of you having a signature model? I mean, is it because this way you know your guitars are just perfect?
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
There's the difference of just buying a guitar at Guitar Center or somewhere that you like, and then you're having it hot rodded. You need the frets filed, or you want the last 4 frets scalloped. I want to swap out the pickups. Hey, I don't want this tremolo. I want to put a Kaler on, because I've been a Kaler guy since right when I kind of stepped into Manowar, and I got my custom vibrato bar through them, the shred bar by Kaler. And, you know, and when I was younger, I was doing that. I was buying guitars and started getting into, oh, I want this, I need the cutaway, and all this, you know, many, many years ago. Well, as I got into Manowar and started making a name for myself and started going to NAMM and meeting companies, you know, I've been with Ernie Ball, EMG pickups, Taylor tremolos, I mean, since probably 1983, 84.
Wow.
Okay, and I've been a fractal audio guy, you know, for 12 and a half years. I wouldn't plug into anything else. It's my gear, my thing, and these are the companies that I work with, and have been great to me, and I'm great with them. But when you've been around and you can get a company that you like and that you can work with, and many times when people leave from this guitar company to this one or that, or amp companies or whatever, it's not because necessarily they're not making good gear anymore. It's because different artist representatives come and go. And what's more important, like for example, if there's a piece of gear I want, I'm not endorsing it, I'll buy it. I don't care. I'm happy to. But when you get a company like a guitar company, they're building you exactly what you want from the ground up, from the fretboard, fret inlays, custom fret wires, your tremolo, your pickups, how you want them mounted, your switching, the body design with the super cutaway, so you can get all the way up to the 24th fret and do like an 8-fret stretch, whether it's on the low B string or high E string, and nothing is touching and hitting the back of your left hand and wrist, which a lot of guitars over the last couple of years have been starting to build guitars like that, because there's a lot of guys like me and several other guitar players out there that have signatures that have a cutaway, so the problem areas are out of the way. And when you have that, and you have a name, and you've been around, and you can get a company, when it's built from the ground up for you, everything is the best you can have it, built to my specs, the company specs, working together, RD that's worked with us, and we built the ultimate shred machine. Again, let me clarify this, Jason. Is these guitars are built for me, my personality, and people know me and call me the shred demon and whatever, but they're versatile guitars. You can play them in any style of music. But I have lived by the 3 A's: attitude, aggressiveness, and appearance, and that has worked for me in every band, and it's part of my personality. And these guitars, when you look at them, you know who they're made for. You can tell by the way they're built and how they sound and play. But for me, and if somebody wants to buy one of them, that's wonderful. You're going to get my guitar built right for me from the ground up, not some Japanese knockoff for $2.99 or something. No, this is boutique from the ground up. My pickups, my tremolo, my bar, no fake poser shit going on. You're getting my guitar for those that want one. If you don't, that's okay too. They're built for me. There's many other guitars and companies out there that somebody can like, and I'm happy if anybody wants to buy one, and it will be finally checked by me. And when somebody buys one, you'll get a t-shirt, you know, picture of me, autograph talk to you, picks, you know, a hat, all that stuff. And when we do the fastener guitar, right now it's 1 of 7 because that's a special paint job
Wow.
and had done. So we'll see how that goes. And I've got a couple of people that have already put deposits on that at my DS6 because we have not released the DS8 yet, but that's coming soon. But again, they're built for me, and I'm humbled and happy if somebody wants to buy my guitars. They have bought my other guitars.
Yeah, why not?
Companies. So, you know, if they want one, great. If they don't, that's okay too. They're built for me. It doesn't change anything. You know, it's all good. There's something for everybody, and things change, always do. Sometimes change is good, sometimes change isn't good. When I change, I make sure it's for the better, or why are you changing? So there you go.
Yeah, and you know, you always deliver the goods for your fans. I mean, when I noticed I was going to be interviewing you today, I can't tell you, David, the response we got from people just excited to hear that we're going to be doing this interview.
I'm so glad to hear that, you know, because you're very popular, people like you, and, you know, you get your point across really well, and, you know, you promote great, and, you know, you're easy to talk to, and, you know, you have a world of knowledge that you know about the people you interview, and I find that's to be really, really important, you know, and, you know, without mentioning names, there's some people, you know, that interview you, and they don't really know enough, and you gotta, like, fill in the blanks, you know, and there's not many that have been like that with myself and other artists I know, but you've never had a problem with that. You've always stayed on top of it and treated me like a brother, so, you know, I appreciate that, and that goes a long way to just doing the interview. That means a lot more than anything else.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm a fan of the music first, and if I'm going to be interviewing somebody that I know very little about before I go and set up an interview, I'm going to at least listen to the CD, you know, or some of the music, or check out the videos so I can at least comment and, you know, react, as opposed to knowing nothing about the person I'm interviewing. You know, that's just common sense. But I think you've got a loyal fan base too, David, because, I mean, for years, like, people knew you from Manowar and the David Shankle group, but, like, these days, I mean, you're always delivering something new, and it doesn't seem to, you know, matter if it's with Wings of Destiny or one of the other bands. People love all these projects you're involved in.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. And, you know, like I said, you know, social media is everything. Now that bands can start to get out there, you got to try and stay in contact with many of your fans if you can. And I mean, I've got 4 personal David Shankle Facebook pages.
It's so popular.
Because of this stupid restriction that you can only have 5,000 friends. You know, people want more than that. People use Facebook and other platforms for many different reasons. Mine is strictly to let my fans and friends know what I'm doing, and those who care come to me, and those that don't have to be there. Again, I've got 4 personal David Shankle pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you've got the DSG fan page, David Shankle fan page, the David Shankle, you know, FEANOR, Shred Demon, Wings of Destiny, another fan page. You know, you got your Instagrams, your YouTubes, your Twitter. All these things are places to put you up on there, anybody in music or business, to let people know in a more vast universe of what you're doing, what's going on, what bands, any new music, new releases, how you feeling, how's life, to keep in touch with as many of your fan base as you can. And that is what I do, and it's really grown. And, you know, the Wings of Destiny, they are a very, very popular band.
Oh, yeah.
They are that progressive power of symphonic rock that kind of puts us in that Rhapsody of Fire, Symphony X, Slate, Dragon Force, and Herman Lee and those boys are really good friends with me. And this band, with the guys in Wings of Destiny, was the band when I stepped in. Anton, the singer, we decided to let's redo Ride the Dragon, and put a whole new spin on it, but still keep it in the same world. That's why we named it The New Ride the Dragon 2022. And the good thing is, I wrote that with Joey, 5 other songs on the Tribe Steel record. So when we go to put it on the Wings of Destiny CD, you know, and you know, you pay the publishing copyrights and all that. It's kind of like I'm paying myself, but you got to do it. It's, you know, it's by law. And but we did it because we love the song and wanted to take it to a new level. And if you haven't heard it, go check it out, because we're getting a great response from it. And you know, Manowar is still my brother. We we put out the Ashes to Ashes and Hellborn CD after I was out of Manowar on Joey's label, Magic Circle Music. By the time I did the third DSG record, Still a Warrior, the relationship was still good. They were doing different things, and then I moved that record over to Pure Steel Record. And I get a lot of people that say, will there be a fourth DSG record? All I'm saying is, possibly, but at this point with 3 bands, I am working on a second FEANOR record. We already have musical ideas for a second Grave Rain record, and concentrating on my new line of guitars and writing for Wings of Destiny. And at some point in my life, I really, really, really would love to put out an instrumental record with a ton of guest artists that I've been on their records, and I promise to be on mine. And that's something that's starting to move forward through this year, and hopefully by the end of the year, as we go into the new year, that I can really have some solid foundation on an instrumental record. Because with me, there's so many guitar players I like and respect, and there's great guitar players everywhere. Mine is not going to be retrospect. Okay, you've heard the first 3 songs, and the whole rest of the record is the same. It's Red World. There's a lot of many different styles I play that I want to really show, from classical playing, which I have that on the Grave Rain record, Romanza, which is on there, and from classical playing to hot country picking, to fusion, jazz stuff, besides the shred. It's a way for me to really open the door in my guitar playing personality, and it's not just, well, here's another DSG record, we know what we're expecting. Here's a Grave Rain record, we love the first one, I wonder where this one's going, or etc. Because you know what musical style you're going to be in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
When I do my instrumental record, you're not know what's going to hit you from one song to the next. And that's what I want to do. And I want to do it more personally for me, to just let people know that I can do all this, because that's what it is. You're not going to hear a hollow body, cool electric fusion jazz copy thing going on a DSG or a Grave Rain or Wings album. It's not that kind of thing. I mean, you could, but it's not really that way. That's why I want to get to that thing. So I'll be working on that. Artwork has kind of been put together for it, and I have the title for it, and I'm just kind of fit it in my schedule with everything so I can get working on it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
a couple things with that, Dave. You're absolutely right about Facebook. It's kind of a necessary evil. I've come across some of those same problems, like where I will just go like a page. Somebody asks me like their page, and you already follow 5,000 pages. You get rid of some of your pages, and then you can follow this one. And you find ways around that. That's why I think you're really great at kind of promoting everything you do. And I'm a fan.
You're right, because if you have a personal page, you get 5,000 friends. That can happen in a day or 3 days, and now you can't add anymore. So where are you going to send the people that are sending you add me as a friend? So you create, anybody. Dave Shankle 2. Dave Shankle 3. Dave Shankle 4. But, when you do a fan page or band page, it's not really friends, it's likes, but those people are friends, and you can have 100,000 likes.
Wow.
20, 30,000, 40, 50 likes, as many people that can find out about you. I just wish they would one day, and I know a lot of people feel the same way, get rid of this 5,000 limit on your page and accept who you want and don't accept who you don't want. I mean, what's with that BS? That's just kind of ridiculous.
Well, I'll tell you what's with it from what I've been able to kind of learn. Like during all the lockdowns, a lot of bands started like having these streaming shows on their sites, and then all of a sudden Facebook wanted to get involved and monetize it. Oh, well, you can't do that on our page unless you're going to pay us. So it's all about the money. But I'm a fan of yours, David, because like you said, I know anything I buy with David Shankle involved, you deliver the goods. It's going to be good. And I kind of like that about you. Everything is kind of different, because if you're going to get involved with Wings of Destiny, you don't want to sound like David Shankle Group, because you already got something for it,
Exactly. Very good point you brought up. When I was talking with my manager and Anton, originally it was about doing just a guest solo, and then we all became became, you know, such good friends. We were talking, me and Anton in the band. They just decided, boy, I wonder what it would be like if we bring Dave in. And my manager said, what do you think about this? And it just ended up being a perfect fit. So we did the single they had ready that was with the label ready to be put out, and they said, hold, let's have, you know, Shankle come in and do solos on it, and let's bring him in the band. So they added me doing all the solos for Rise Above Them All. Then I did the little solo clip, you know, that's all on social media, and then we released it, and within like a week, there was like 30 online magazines and metal magazines all around the world that posted I was in the band.
Wow.
And that was just wonderful because it brought Wings and Destiny fans, DSG, Manowar, Grave Rain, FEANOR fans all together to the party to go, who the hell is this Wings and Destiny that Shankle just joined? And then we hit them, you know, with this Rise Above Them All. And Anton and I said, you know, while we're going to all work on a record and, you know, see about setting up a tour, what would be a great surprise to hit them with next before the next single they had ready for me to play on? And that's what we said. Well, let's redo Ride the Dragon from the Triumph of Steel record. So everybody that's coming to the party knew, and all the hype is on that. Wham! We smash you like a level 5 tornado with the new Ride the Dragon 2022. And, you know, and there's no stopping us. You know, it's just what's going to come next. And it was a great idea to do it because I can. I was in the band. I helped write the song. Nobody can tell me that I can't. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And it's great. And I'm proud of it. The band's proud of it. And, you know, there's more surprises coming. I can't talk about it. And it's all three bands. We got things going on. The Grave Rain band, we have on Destination Aftermath 2 copy songs that we did for movies. We have How Soon Is Now that we redid by the Smiths. And, you know, the TV series Charmed, you know, that song was redone by another band. And I redid it for a movie called, I think, The Haunting of Plainville. And that's going to be released later this year.
Wow.
And we got the copyrights and we redid it and kept it heavy radio rock. And then they came back to us and said, there's a comedy documentary coming out. Would you guys want to do the Pink Floyd Dirty Woman? So Tony and I redid that.
Wow.
And kept it heavy. And so we got 2 songs later this year into the new year that one will be in a movie and one will be in a comedy documentary that are on the Grave Rain Destination Aftermath CD with one of my classical guitar pieces, Romanza. And all that's available on, like all our records, on all the streaming platforms, but you can get everything directly, except for the Wings of Destiny stuff, right from GraveRainBand.com. Anything there from DSG, Veilside, Grave Rain swag CDs, and, you know, for a special price, a FEANOR CD that I'll personally sign to you, my hot sauce, the full shred, which is mild, and the shred demon, which is hot. And I am working with the company on releasing a third one. We're hoping over the next couple of months. And that more information will follow on that once that is completely confirmed.
Wow.
So keeping busy, plus I run my own music school. You know, David Shankle School of Music online and in person, and the Milwaukee Music Academy. You know, we do lessons. My girlfriend and I, Annette, she teaches vocal, piano, beginner guitar, and I do everything from bass, electric, acoustic, jazz, rock, shred, whatever. You have to appeal to all different styles of music and ages to have a music school and make a living doing it. You just can't try and find kids on Facebook that are 14 or 16 and want to take lessons, because I've learned over the years there's a vast more people that want lessons to make a living doing it, because you get a lot of these teenager kids that they don't want to say they're taking lessons from this guy or that guy when they're trying to date their girlfriend and they want to act like they're hot shit. You know, they want to keep that under the table. Believe me, I know. So I've been doing this 33 years professionally, and I've been doing it for a living. I graduated from Roosevelt University with my bachelor's of music in jazz, classical guitar music theory, and I love teaching. And there's a difference from being a guitar player and being able to be a guitar player and be a teacher. There's a lot of great guitar players out there that cannot teach.
Yeah. Now let me ask you.
So there's an art to teaching, to getting into that student's brain, understanding exactly what they want, what level they're at, what they want to learn, and what's the easiest path of resistance to cut the fat off the meat and get right to what they need to learn to keep them happy and help them on their journey. And that's what I do. And if anybody's has been or wants to be interested with a free trial lesson with me, come to me to my inbox on my main David Shankle Facebook page. Even if you're not friends, you can still send a message or contact me through the Grave Rain Band page or any way like that. My email address is on there, and you can get a hold of me. You know, it's no problem. You get a free trial lesson. If you love it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But, you know, I've got like 60 students a week I teach between online and in person and juggling the bands and dealing with, you know, new lines of guitars and writing songs. I just go all the time, and I love it because it keeps me busy, and I love my students, and I love helping people. When I was younger, I didn't have a guy like me.
And yet, look at what you were able to do. And I want to ask a little bit about the guitar teaching. You mentioned you have in-person lessons and online. Now, for people that come and do it in person, do you go to them or do they come to your school or your studio?
They come to where I'm at.
Okay.
And then if they want to do online, which is always a backup, or if they're in a different state, then it's online lessons over Skype.
Okay. That's cool.
So yeah, a lot of people do lessons over Skype or Zoom, you know, whichever platform works best for you. I've just been doing Skype lessons for 17 years now, and I've been teaching professionally for about 33.
Yeah, now let me ask you, David, because I know you're living in Chicago. I don't know if that's where you're originally from. You know, Chicago is known for, like, the blues and stuff. So I was curious, you play any blues at all?
Well, I grew up playing blues, and blues is a music teacher for me. And being my player and at my level is common vocabulary for guitar players. You've got to learn the blues like learning your ABCs.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, you either want to just be a blues guitar player, and, you know, you could be 16 and live to be 75 or 80 and just play blues riffs, okay? But you can be 16 if you live to 70 and trying to keep up with neoclassical progressive fret playing, you know, like me and many other guys I could name. You know, that's a harder thing to do as you get older, but blues is the soul, you know, the heart of it, and where you expand from there is the direction that you want to go. And when I start with a lot of my students that are at beginner or intermediate level, I have 19 ebooks that take you from all the pentatonics, minor blues and dominant, and then into how to spread it out in 3 octaves, string skipping. Then once you learn all these positions, what do you do with them? You got to start learning the cool hot licks that you're liking from all these other blues players, and I give you that formula and teach you these licks, how to play them and practice the backing tracks to create your own voice. You know, and then so you're not just practicing the air. And as the students are getting these licks down and understanding the chords and keys and notes and different positions, we start working with modes and scales so you understand how that works 3 note per strings and 2 and 3 octaves. And then combining pentatonics and scales and licks in that world with different styles of musical backing tracks. So you're creating a voice all the time. Then we get in, you know, and all that stuff is constantly working with a metronome on and off. So you develop timing and feel and preciseness in your picking. You know, then you get into, you know, arpeggio books and stuff that I got, and advanced scales, harmonic minor, jazz melodic minor, 3-4 octaves, and how you put all that together at your own pace to learn to where you can play the music and the songs and reach for the guitar players that you want to be like. You can learn that stuff. Everybody's human. If you cut us, we'll bleed. Okay? That old saying, oh, this guy's a god, that guy's a god. Thank you, but I don't go with that. We're all human beings.
Yeah.
And some players are better than others. Like who you like. Everybody has an opinion, but that doesn't always mean the opinion that somebody else has is the right one, because people will step up and tell you, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. You know, different, but I don't care about that shit.
No.
Do you like,
Yeah.
play what you play, and do your thing. You know, there's a saying, I gotta say this now that we're on the topic, that I learned from Joey very early when I was in Manowar. And it's pretty funny, and I've always kind of kept it with me. And this goes for anything, and it's for me. Joey said once, if you've never seen the band Manowar before, and I say this now about my bands as well, if you've never seen me or the bands before, come check us out. Bring a friend. Check out our videos. You know, buy our CD. If you love us, great. Help us build our relationship. If you don't like us, don't come again. We'll have enough people that will go away and goodbye. You know?
Very good point. Yeah.
You can't make everybody happy. If you like us, great. If you don't, then don't come again. I've got enough people around the world and locally in Chicago and surrounding states that'll come see me. And, you know, everybody's got haters and everything.
Yeah.
I don't let negativity into my life, and other friends of mine and great players don't either. You know, you just block them, get rid of them, whatever. Nobody needs that shit. You can't make everybody happy. Die loser, I don't care.
No. Yeah. You make a couple of good points there. I mean, that's what I think is the biggest change in the music industry. When you and I were growing up, I mean, we didn't have the internet, and you'd really support your bands. Like I was a huge Kiss fan, Aerosmith fan back in the day. Every time there'd be a new Aerosmith or Kiss album.
Who didn't love Kiss? And, you know, I grew up on Aerosmith.
Yeah.
So and then my very first concert was Kiss, Ronnie Montrose, and Black Oak, Arkansas, at the Aragon Ballroom. I think I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, wow.
You know, and that changed my life. And my dad was a country picker. He jammed with Roy Clark and toured with him for a while and was on the old Hee-Haw show. So my dad was the first one to put a guitar in my hand.
Wow.
And I was 8 years old, and I played it for about 2 weeks and went, I don't like this. And then when I was 13 or 12, he says, do you want a motorcycle or do you want to play guitar? And my mom came out and said, I said, well, I could try and be Evel Knievel. And I'll never forget my mom, God rest her soul, she went, buy him the guitar, he'll probably live longer. So my dad bought me a Univox copy of a Les Paul and a Univox guitar amp way back in the day, you know, and that started me really when I was about 12 or 13 on my guitar journey, and I never stopped since.
Yeah, but you know, the point I'm making is back in the day, you know, we really supported the bands that we loved, and you go out and you buy the albums, you know. Now every week, you know, new music drops on Friday, and then by the following Friday, people forget about what just came out, you know. But for like David Shankle fans, we know you deliver the goods, so your fans are die hard. They're still supporting everything.
I appreciate that. You know, the fans that know me and love what I do, I love them, and I feed off of them. They feed off of me. That's great. The ones that don't, I don't know about. And I don't care. I just want to keep positive attitude in my music. Like any musician at any level or any music, you know, that's what you do. You know, you only live once. You got to make the best of life, because once you're gone, whatever you've done in anything, business, life, you know, whatever, it's going to live on after you, you hope, with your loved ones and the people you've touched. You know, not the haters, which who gives a shit.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, you made a good point earlier on in the interview today. You were saying, you know, people have one image of what David Shankle is like the shred king, but you can play jazz, you can play fusion, you can do all these other different styles, and that's, I think, what makes it easier for a guy like you to get a gig, you know, because you're more than just a one-trick pony.
Right, and I love getting offers. I'm on 29 guest solo CDs already.
Wow.
Over the last 6 years or more, and there's a couple more coming out this year. But like I said earlier, Jason, you know, I think it's, you know, time for me to really think about, you know, what everything I'm doing with the bands, to do an instrumental record, you know, for my fans and for me. You know, whether somebody buys one CD or I sell 100,000, I don't care. You know, it's more about the principle that here's me, open arms, by myself, here's what I do, you know, not 3 different records with 3 different bands, 3 different singers, and I love all of them and all these different bands of it. This is David Shankle with his guitar, and here's many different styles, and some people know, and some people will be, wow, I I didn't know he could do that, and that's really what's important here about it.
Yeah, doing an instrumental record like that, I would think, is almost kind of a little bit harder, because when you're working with a singer and songs with vocals, it's a lot different. I mean,
it's not really harder, because I'm basically, when you're doing instrumental, your melodies and your leads are trying to create what a vocalist would do, but it's what I'm doing on guitar. Like so many other great players, Steve Vai, Satriani, these guys, instrumentals that are not always just neoclassical, but with, soul and feel and all that. Not that neoclassical isn't. It's just I'm talking a variety of wonderful stuff and melody. Not just, like I said, when you hear 3-4 songs, now you know what the rest of the record's going to sound like. Mine will not be that way, because I want to offer myself and to my fans, everything I can play.
I guess what I'm asking,
people like it, great. If they don't, well, okay.
I guess,
too.
I guess what I'm asking is, like, when you have a song with vocals and somebody's singing it, you have, as you're listening to the song, you have a better idea of what the song was maybe written about, whereas instrumental is more from your emotion, more emotive.
Yeah, it's all on you when you're writing the instrumental, like I did with E2, Daydreams, The Voyage, and The Hitman. It's all what you feel and where the rhythms are taking you, where the solo section is, what is the main melody. And any guys out there that have done instrumental records, and there's many of them, they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And when I write music for the bands with singers, I'm thinking about what would be verse, some verse chorus, what would be a bridge, where am I modulating up to do a solo? Am I trading off with another guitar player, or is it a guest soloist I'm bringing in? Or what am I doing to come back into a bridge and outro, or am I doing half a third verse and outro? As the song develops, I'm thinking about that, and when the solo section comes, for me to write my solos that go to all the records that I'm on and written, I let the rhythm tell me what does it want there, what is it asking for, and I write my solos to fit that and duplicate it live as the very best you can. Every guitar player will tell you it's never exactly the same every time live, because it's different. When you're in the studio, nobody sees you play, nobody sees me play over the neck, and I don't do that in the studio, but when I get live and I'm with my students and I'm practicing and I'm teaching, live it's a whole different thing. You want to melt their face, you want to crush the ground they stand on, and show these people what you got, so they walk away going, holy shit, I had no idea, the stage presence, his guitar playing, his attitude on stage, how he played, how he performed. People want entertainment live. That's why it's called entertainment, no matter what style of music is, and you got to deliver the goods, and that's what I do. Try and be flashy, but technical, look great, keep your eye on the chicks, the whole thing, try and be a chick magnet and look good. Everybody gets older, and be that guy I've always been known for, and that's what I do. And if people like it, great. If they don't, go away.
Yeah, and David, I got another question regarding your guitar teaching. One of your students kind of mentioned to me that you were their teacher, Lisa G, who is an artist and a rising artist, and she's nothing like a shred master or anything. But I thought it was interesting that she's taking guitar lessons from you, or she did.
Okay, I'm sorry you broke up. A former student of mine?
Lisa G. She's an artist that's being produced by Carmine Apiece right now, and she's kind of and she mentioned that she took guitar lessons from you.
Okay, Lisa G. The name kind of rings a bell. It's been a very, very, very long time. Yeah. But I think I do remember. I think that might have been when I was at a different music school.
Okay.
At the time, because that does ring a bell. But if she's got stuff going on, that's wonderful. And if she ever hears this, please contact me. I want to hear your music. I want to hear what you're playing.
Well,
I'm sure it's tremendous, and I would be just be wonderful to hear what's going on.
Well, I can tell you, David. You can look her up on Facebook, and she signed at Deco Entertainment, and she's kind of a pop artist, which is kind of interesting. But she's working with guys like Carmine and James Lomenzo, the bass player from Megadeth. So
she's definitely in with some good people. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. And I guess we'll wrap up the interview with this. I wanted to ask a little bit more about the hot sauce, and how did you first get into that?
Tony Engel at the time, and we were doing a festival called Farm Rock. And we were playing with Dokken, Queensryche, Sebastian Bach, and many other bands, Vixen, a few other bands. And when we were on stage, I saw this big red truck way out in the back of the field. I'm like, God, what is that? It looked cool, because I could tell it had some cool designs on it. And when I got done playing and we did a meet and greet, I walked out there and saw it was Hellfire Hot Sauce, and met the owner and his wife, and we just clicked. And within that first year, we talked about hot sauce getting involved. And at the time, I didn't know a friggin' thing about hot sauce except it would burn your mouth to death. You know, so I tried some and we started talking, and then I started learning about hot sauce, how it's made, different ingredients, what makes one hotter or milder. And then we started tossing some samples around, and then we picked and said, let's do two. Let's do a mild one that's tasty, sweet, and got flavor and won't kill people. So we decided to call that Full Shred. Then we said, let's do one that's much, much hotter for those that want it, and call that Shred Demon. And that's done well for me and Hellfire Hot Sauce. And I just saw them last week and got, another supply. So again, if people want Hellfire Hot Sauce, you can get it all from the Grave Rain Band website. And you can find us through the Facebook Grave Rain Band, or you can go directly to hellfirehotsauce.com and find me on there. They just released some new barbecue sauce that is phenomenal. So people check that out. They've got the hottest sauce in the world if you want it, and the most variety of sauces from any company in the world. And they are just wonderful people. They've been great to me. So we're thinking about maybe doing a third sauce that will land in between the two. So you got the Full Shred mild, Shred Demon that's much, much hotter, and then one that's in the middle for a happy point. So, once we actually dial that in, then I'll talk more about that. But I've been with them for quite some time, and, you can get the sauce directly from them or right through the Grave Rain website. Again, graverainband.com for any of the CDs, contact for lessons, and hot sauce. Right there's where it's at, brother. Anybody wants guitar lessons from me, contact me directly through my Facebook, etc. And, we can go from there, and keep your eye out for more music coming from Wings of Destiny, Grave Rain, FEANOR, and I'm happy to be with all of them. The next DS8 signature guitar, which, by the way, on my 8-string guitar, it's not a low F sharp. I'm tuned a full step down, and I put a high A on there. So when you got your high E string, I've got one more string higher, so I can get way up into that violin range and let my low B string, which is tuned down to an A, get you into that cello range. Because for these guitars, anything I do DSG and Grave Rain, I'm tuned a complete full step down.
Wow.
Anything that is FEANOR and Wings of Destiny is A440 standard tuning, and I use different strings for different tunings, for different applications. I've got 32 guitars tuned in every which way you can think of, because sometimes when I'm offered a guest solo, these bands are in E flat, so you're not restringing guitars and changing the tuning. So I just grab which one will be appropriate for that solo that's in E flat, or if it's in A440, or if it's a full step down band. But it's my own music. Grave Rain, DSG, everything's a full step down.
Wow.
FEANOR, Wings of Destiny, standard tuning, A440. So there's the thing on that. If anybody wanted to know, there's the difference.
And as far as the hot sauce, David, you're in great company, because I know guys like Michael Anthony from Van Halen and Eddie from Twisted Sister, they've got their own brand of hot sauce. So I was wondering, with the hot sauce, have you gone out and had any tastings or made any special events so people can come check that out?
Hellfire Hot Sauce is the company. They have their van, and they drive and do many venue shows, hot sauce shows. They go to concerts, and they get set up for people to come check their stuff out. I have not gone to any of them yet with them, but they have come to some of my shows, and we've set up their booth where it's, their hot sauce, their package deals, and my sauce on the tables, and people can sample. But I'm glad you brought that up, because as Grave Rain gets ready to start playing out through Chicago, Milwaukee, and surrounding states, they will be getting it involved with their booths as much as they and we'll be having any of the DSG CDs, FEANOR and Veil-Side stuff, whatever, right there with Grave Rain plays, man.
Oh, well, once again, David, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'd like to thank you taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you did this on your day off, so thanks for that. If you could hold on for a minute, I just want to talk to you about something off there.
And let me say thank you to all for listening. Thanks for having me. I love all my fans, and check out again ViperGuitar.com, my signature guitars. They got a lot of wonderful other artists on there. Many custom guitars that Jeff has to sell besides signatures. Hot Sauce, HellfireHotSauce.com, all the bands, Grave Rain, Wings of Destiny, FEANOR, DSG stuff, new music coming soon, and I'm happy to be here, and I really appreciate it. I'm honored, and thank you again for having me. Really means a lot to me, Jason.
We appreciate it. Anytime. You know that. Okay.
Chaotic Drift Magazine.